Also enjoying a nice Cabernet Sauvignon.
It's so white. Man,
You don't look that white to me.
yeah, it look white
I
to
do
me.
look like James fucking
Dude,
V-neck.
it's just like he always had. If your hair was more slick back, like
Yeah, if I was like a real like Bond villain,
yeah,
it's funny, but we can bring that. I mean, if there's worse guys to be compared to, I guess,
yeah,
on that show. But like I did say to you, I do think he looks like Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series with his
yeah,
two-colored fucking jacket. All he needed was the split tie
yeah.
and the
And
chemical
like
burns.
paint on his face, dude. I don't think that's an insult. I think he's a good looking guy.
No, no, no. I mean, I'm not going to take, like I said, I'm not taking it as an insult, but
Swollen.
compared to some of the other comparisons I get in the celebrity world, worst one being the guy from Game of Thrones.
Bolton.
Yeah, no, well, not yeah. What's his name? Ramsey
Ramsey.
Bolt.
Yeah, you said that before. I don't know. I'm not seeing that.
Well, maybe our
Especially when you
listeners
have
can let
facial
us know.
hair. When you have facial hair, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I have a dog. I don't feed people to my dogs. I have my own last name. I do have a dad, so there is that. But
Right.
but hey, let's get to it, right?
You don't cut off people's dicks either.
Now let's get to it.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
So,
Kevin will be back for tomorrow's episode covering week 2 of Survivor 41. Wouldn't be surprised if right now Kevin is actually sitting there and watching it right now. So,
hey, it's a show, man. Like,
Kevin,
if he's gonna be excited about something, I'm glad.
I respect it. It's like a Eagles game. It's like a Falcons game. It's like insert of whatever your like main TV show that you watch every week. Kevin is ready. He does a thing where he watches it with a friend of his too, and they sit down and they like discuss it as they go. And it's a nice warm up for him before he gets on to the Reality Guys and comes and gives a further breakdown. As we mentioned, we cover things other than what we're covering here today, which is Bachelor in Paradise. We cover Survivor. We cover The Challenge. We will have a special episode dropping this week on the Britney Spears documentary that dropped on Netflix. And also it's timely because her conservatorship trial is this week. Actually, as of this recording today, they had the first part of the hearing today on Wednesday. So we will definitely get that out timely because I have a feeling this court case won't last very long.
Definitely not.
So we appreciate everyone that's been commenting on the videos, whether you're commenting on the videos themselves or in the Facebook groups or in the different Facebook posts that I do share our stuff in. I really appreciate all the groups and all of the different communities that allow us to post and allow us to become members of their community. I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I hope to kind of grow that relationship and have some of you guys on the show, anytime you want for anything, not just Bachelor in Paradise. So it's been pretty cool, right, Brian? Like we have for just a couple videos in, we've had pretty good fan interaction, not even fan, but just community interaction.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's nice. I mean, we never expected to be at our old like viewing numbers right away, and like people that actually were commenting because we did branch off with no notice. But so far, I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And so speaking of things we're enjoying, let's get the Bachelor in Paradise. So episode 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. Like we said, this is episode 5 of season 2 of the Reality Guys. Bri, we are going to call this one No Budget in Paradise.
Fitting.
So for those of you who definitely watched the episode and are coming here to get your thoughts, maybe confused, what are you talking about? I kind of felt like they are running out of steam a little bit in general with each other, the relationships, but also with just the production. So everyone knows I love Wells. I think that and I'll get to that news in a second. I think Wells should be the permanent host because Chris Harrison is not coming back. But they brought him on as the guest host this week, which is great. But after we had the guys like David Spade and a Jackson brother and Lil Jon for almost 2 weeks, I think they ran out of money on the budget. And then as far as the dates, they had dates that were all spa related at the hotel within like 15 feet of where they were. And one of them was a roller skating date in the lobby. So a little cheap, Bri.
This the whoever is making these decisions, bad.
They got to go out with a bang, I feel like, and not with a kind of whimper in the dates. to be fair, a lot of the people are coupled up, and we will get to that dynamic. But I would like you to just kick it up just a little bit of a notch for the finale, especially if we have to watch 3-hour episodes for the final 2 weeks. Yes, that's
torture,
right.
man.
Next week is 3 hours again.
So long,
Everyone buckle it.
dude. I don't and like
You
just
can't even
viewing,
not giggle.
I don't even think like it was like even like that much longer viewing. I felt there were way more commercials.
It was 2 hours if you went on Hulu. I did check that. So it was 2 hours of actual content. So
Okay.
it's still
I guess
not
that's
bad for
fine.
3 hours.
But man, there was segments on YouTube TV, man, where the commercials were just
Brutal.
Yeah.
Let's pick up with the fight from last week. Ivan and Aaron. So for those of you that may not have watched last week, the episode ended with Ivan snaking in on Chelsea, even though he had told Aaron, hey, I'm not even interested in anyone else. I'm going to wait for someone new to come in, and I'm going to take my chances with that. However, 15 minutes later, he's talking to Chelsea, and they make out. Aaron sees it, and they pull a classic challenge MTV fight where they get in each other's faces. And we resume this week where they keep asking each other, what you going to do? What you going to do? Neither of them are going to actually do anything. Ivan, even though I thought he was kind of snaky in a respect, he did make a good point. Aaron calls out every single dude on the beach.
Yeah, agreed.
It is a thing that, like, maybe if this is the first time he was freaking out, it would have been taken a little more seriously. And I think that's why initially the group, they all believed Ivan was kind of more in the right. Well, because he obviously lied to them too about who approached who, but that kind of fed into Aaron's reputation of, I don't want to say a crybaby, but like being the white knight.
Yeah. Crying wolf, white knight, whatever.
It's
Also,
not the hero that the paradise deserves or needs.
It's not G.I. Joe.
It is not G.I. Joe. And I feel like G.I. Joe retired from service for a little while. G.I. Joe did not call anyone out this week. Him and Serena P are talking about logistics. I mean, they are getting really boring really fast. They are the prom king and queen, and we'll get to that. But I have a feeling Joe is not the prom king when he went to prom.
No, he was like the janitor.
Also, Joe's probably the only person on the show whose prom actually looked like that.
Yeah, exactly. He even said that, I think. Like,
Oh, did he? I missed that. Well,
he's like, I love the 80s.
well, it's because he grew up in the 80s. So,
Right.
Very weird, I thought, convenient. Where was Chelsea during the fight? Why was she just gone for 20 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very peculiar that, like, almost seems like it was a forced fight to me.
It almost seemed like they told Chelsea she had a phone call like a mile away, and she walked a mile, and then the fight started. Yeah. Very much agreed. The only other thing I really want to talk about the fight before we get to like the truth of the matter coming out, why did Riley get involved so much?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's standing up for your friend. I was thinking that too, and like, I was kind of expecting him to like be like, "Hey, Aaron, my bad." After the fact, because he was pissed. I think he was more. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed at Ivan later when they kind of had
when the truth about the other scandal comes out.
Like even in his confessional, he was like, "Hey, it's like a 5 or 6 second bleep where he was like cussing. Like I don't know what he was saying.
Why would he be so upset?
Maybe because it was his friend. I mean, like, I don't know. I just, that's how I looked at it. It's like, it was a friendship thing and he was a little upset. And you go to bat for your boy, I guess.
Yeah, I got it. But it reeked of that we've talked about that when we, in our other multiverse, when we talked about Floribama Shore, where it's like, don't make a fight not you, like yours, where it's not involved. That wasn't really much of a fight. It was a whole group there. They weren't going to get physical and stuff like that. Ivan didn't really have much to say because he kept being like, take a walk. So I'm like, yeah. And let's just continue on the Ivan train. So they do go to the rose ceremony that we've been waiting on. But then Wells comes up and pulls Ivan aside and says, we need to have a talk. In that moment, I thought he did something bad, dude. I thought he assaulted someone or like there was some shit like that, like something with like someone in production, maybe. Like, what did you think it was going to be?
So I think I said last time that I thought like he had hooked up with Chelsea at the
that was a good theory.
Hotel, but he did hook up with somebody, but it wasn't Chelsea. It's kind of crazy how he basically I don't understand how he got the phone with the room information of who was that girl? Did that girl not come on the show?
So from my understanding, it seems like she was there are like some standby people they have in case someone has to go home early or if someone gets sick, etc.
He's in the bullpen.
Kind of no, it is a bullpen. Now, I don't know if because of what transpired, if she was supposed to come on the beach that last week or not, but basically what we're alluding to is that Wells calls Ivan out. Ivan brings up that he this is so stupid.
Dude, he's like detective.
He literally was a detective. He found a phone of a producer sitting out and kind of glanced down and realized that on the phone it had a list of all the contestants and I guess the corresponding hotel where they're the staging hotel. And he saw the woman's name is Alexa. She was from Peter's season. And I was like, everyone knows there's people that they really want to have on. And We've obviously got the idea that they knew in the beginning with the quarantine, basically who was in the general pool. We saw that with the Piper and Brendan situation. All of this has kind of come to light. He found the hotel room, obviously was annoyed about how his situation's been going in Paradise. Seems like he knocked on her door and they hooked up. And that's a big no. You can't cheat the process.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing about the process in general everywhere, but especially here. So yeah, you're done. Ivan's out, which really does make him look like a total asshole because of all the bullshit he caused with Aaron, where literally the night before, apparently he had hooked up with another girl.
Right. And I just want to add a few things about this.
No, go.
We kind of skipped over really quickly. The next day, not the next day, like after the fight, Aaron talks to Chelsea and they, you know how like they kind of get the information, like who, like he's like, I didn't approach him. He approached me. And then Aaron like looks at him and like, remember that time he's just staring at him and he just makes out with her and then stares right back at Ivan. Great. I thought that was great TV.
It was a power makeout, but it was also, it was Chelsea. I was appreciate that she just like put it right out there. She's like, no, you pulled me aside. And again, I think the guy, there has to be something where he had that shit on his mind. But again, even if he had this connection with this other girl in the hotel, why would he be trying to stay on Paradise longer?
Well, maybe because he's trying to get a rose this week and then next week she comes.
I guess they all don't know how long it is.
Yeah, sure. Because he probably was banking on. It's the same shit that happened with like Jasenya's guy and but Brendan, like they're just waiting for other people to come,
which is BS.
Yeah, it is BS. And then the other thing that he did in the rose ceremony right before he's leaving, when Ivan's like, "Hey Chelsea, I know you were going to give me the rose," and she was like, "What?" That was just like,
he's like, "No, I wasn't. You're a liar." He's like, "I rescind." It's like when Michael Scott goes and finds out he's not getting the job on The Office. He's like, "I rescind my candidacy." He's like, "Well, you didn't get the job." He's like, "No, I rescind. I rescinded first."
Yeah, it's just not a good look. Like, just not a good 12 hours for that dude. Just bad.
And also, did you like that we got the admittal that they were only there for a night because they were like, last night when we were in the hotel.
Right. Yeah, it was a commercial break for us. That's exactly what it was for the audience.
I feel like they should have embraced this a little bit more. Even that this girl, like they should have shown the girl, like they should have made this like the whole idea is to find love, and even though you kind of cheated, you did find love, and like let them on for a date or something.
Yeah,
Screw it, just embrace it.
You're telling me there's no hotel like videos that like they could have just added in of them like talking like with like a night vision tint to it?
They couldn't have had a mocked up him finding that phone.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, right. Yeah, bullshit.
So there was only, like I said, I'm not going to review everybody that were the obvious couples that have always stayed together, but there were a few that were up in the air. Natasha and Tia. So Natasha picked Ed.
Right? Yeah.
Natasha picked Ed, and Tia picked James. James got his first W of the season. Nice. His first real W.
Happy for him.
He deserved it. And James may take that momentum and carry it forward and maybe gives everyone a taste of their own medicine. Like I mentioned, Wells is this week's guest host. There's more women coming. Like,
it's so dumb, man.
It's the second to last week, and there are more women coming.
There needs to be a cut because when we get to that second chick, like I felt bad for this girl.
Oh,
What is he supposed to do?
she saves the right guy, and then she ends up opening the lane for him to meet a better match. And it's just absolutely brutal. But then she recovers. So we'll get to all that. There's a lot of twists and turns. This is an episode.
I'm talking about the second chick that comes on.
Anna?
No, Anna was first. The other girl that like Ed eventually takes on. She takes Ed on a date.
Oh, Michaela.
Yeah, like, and the other thing I need to ask you a question about, because she made it sound like she was on the show already for a little bit.
Maybe she may have been on another Paradise season.
Really?
She may have, but she was only on Peter's season, so it would have had to have literally been last Paradise. Like there wouldn't have been with COVID and stuff. There would have been a year and a half.
Something about like that little party they had. That guy, the VIP party.
Oh yeah, was she at that's so I'm thinking like, that was like a production slip, and like maybe she was there, but like not on video. I feel I would have had her in my notes.
Yeah, because she said like something like, "Oh,
you're right. No, you're 100% right."
Because she was like, I liked him when I first saw him, and I was like, "Well, yeah."
We had a good conversation.
Yeah, right. Because she took Thomas first, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm now with don't remember her name."
I was so convinced Thomas was going to be like down for a date.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm like he
got a bad rap, dude.
Dude, he did get a bad rap. He wasn't the only one to throw up the stiff one.
So, Long Con, he's really just trying to become the Bachelor again, trying to rebuild his image.
He's going for the throne. He's going for Chris Harrison's job.
Well, apparently that's been decided. Yes. I guess we can talk about that really quick now.
Segue.
Freaking Jesse Palmer, guys, was announced as the next host of The Bachelor for the season that is apparently going to be a contestant from Michelle Williams' Bachelorette season. I don't know if it's permanent. I know he's hosted before in the past. I didn't see any of those seasons. The guy's a good TV host and stuff like that. I mean, he does like Good Morning America and like shit like that, I think. So it's not like he is incapable, but I think Wells deserves it. But you made a good point, Brian. I want to hear you for the fans.
I think he's like trapped in this realm. Like he's not allowed to, he's the warden of this beach. Like he can't, I don't remember what like sci-fi or thing is like, you can't leave. If you leave this area, you just die. Like, what is that from? Deep dive. We might not know.
Yeah, there's a lot of tropes for comic book people. You could say like Avengers Endgame, where the Red Skull's not allowed to leave. The Infinity Stone.
Like a ton of, I think of like the first thing I thought of is like he's trapped here. Like this is his like prison, but it's a fun prison. Like he gets to serve people drinks. But
insert Greek mythology that we don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that. Like you're stuck in this area and you can't leave.
It's something perpetual. Yeah. There's plenty of.
It's probably like a person called Perpetuus in Greek mythology.
It's probably literally something we should know.
Yeah, we should know, but people know what I'm talking about. Like it just somebody who's a prisoner and they cannot leave no matter what happens unless they trade bodies with somebody or something like that. Whatever.
That, or I'd like to think the positive spin is that he's just like, no, I just want to be a fucking bartender in paradise. It's a lot easier gig. I just show up in the summers and I give advice while making pina coladas.
Right. And like what Kristen said in our comments, if you only have to serve people 2 drinks an hour, that's a pretty easy gig.
It's a pretty easy gig. And there is significantly less spotlight and intensity put on Paradise than on the main 2 franchises.
Right. Yeah. Like
people do all kinds of shit during this too, and no one cares. Everyone has fun with it. As soon as it's like this is the preseason or like the all-star game, and the main things are like the playoffs, because I know when we get to week 1 of Bachelorette in like 2 weeks, the intensity in the comments and in the conversations I'm in really ramp up. They really, really do. They're a lot hard, but I am looking forward to the introductions again. That is one of my favorite parts of the season.
The first 2 or 3 episodes of Bachelor, Bachelorette are really good, and then it ages like milk, man. It's just
it gets us ready for Paradise.
It's too serious. Like
I'm gonna start having like when we have the new studio set up, I'm gonna have some like chalkboard like Woody Page in the background. It's just gonna have a really countdown to Paradise, like days till Paradise.
Like quotes. That's really good. I like that idea.
You could have it on your wall too, even. You could hang one right on your back. You're closer. You have time. You'll get it up before me. There's nowhere for me to hang anything in the beach right now. I guess I could put it on the palm tree and stuff, but Wells is very, very specific about
very particular.
The natural vegetation not being disturbed.
Right.
Okay, so let's get out of that. So, okay, the next part is a little bit. We're gonna It's Kenny and Mari.
Oh, are you talking about the smoke stuff?
We could just do Kenny. We can run through Kenny and Mari's through line really quick. So apparently we get Mari poolside, and Mari is talking about how Kenny seemed really weirded out this morning. And we're like, here we go again. Yeah. They go and have a conversation, and Kenny seems like he's gaslighting a little bit. He's like, I don't think you were there already. She must have said something to him in pillow talk or something that got him all freaked out, because he was like saying things like, let's pump the brakes and you're not into it as much. What did you feel like when you heard this?
This was like, I don't know if you said it last time, where they like the last episode where they think that they have this great relationship in their confessionals. And it's like, you hear these conversations, you're like, what is going, like, how does it change? We know they're only like, these shows are between days. Like, what is happening within these days where you got to hire someone to blow smoke all over your body, like to make you feel better. Like,
I need to know what they're saying to each other in private time, because everything we're seeing, there's really no like red flags. Their pillow talk is bad. Maybe their foreplay is bad. I don't know what it is. Their best foreplay we've seen so far was the taco night, which is horrible.
That's
horrible.
That's the only taco bar I wouldn't hit.
They ride through. So their through line then is that the next part is that Mari is really upset, and that she really though is committed to this and wants to figure out a way for them to talk about their demons, or even just their past or whatever they're hung up on, so they can fully move on out of paradise. So I thought, maybe they were going to, sit down, have a conversation. Maybe she was going to set up some kind of fun date where they're telling each other fun things with cards, or she just sits him down and talks about where her trepidations are coming from, or tells him that he has bad breath during pillow talk, like whatever the big hang up is. Brian. And I now have a new Reality Guys Cardinal Rule of The Bachelor. This would be, I think, rule number 3. And I'll run down the rules here, but no black magic, no voodoo, no paganism on The Bachelor. And if you're like, Bill, what the hell could you be talking about right now? Mari got a bruja, which is a Mexican witch, to come to the beach.
Dude, I don't know what was worse during that thing, like just the entire thing, or Thomas like, I think this is really real.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
This is something really deep and serious. I was like, yo, man, I liked you these last couple episodes, but you sound insane right now.
Brian, thank you for saying that. So these were my bullet points. I love sometimes reading it to people so they know. A bruja, aka Mexican witch, there to cleanse them, help them to connect spiritually. Bullet point, new reality guy rule, no black magic. Next bullet point, quote, the most special thing that anyone has done here, Thomas. Wow, literally, they're all 6 feet away watching the date. Right? How special can it be?
Dude, and he said it so many times. Like, I don't know if it was Eddie. He's like, this, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And he was almost like a yes man for this voodoo shit. I was like, what are you saying, man? This is the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. Afterwards, they're like, Mari, I love you. I'm so weird. I'm into you now. I'm so into you. It's like,
so here's a dating tip for everyone. If you really need your partner to tell you the truth about something, rub them with an unlit candle.
Yeah.
And that apparently really brings out the truth bombs, because they were rubbing each other with an unlit candle. And all of a sudden, all the things they could have easily said anytime while they were sitting by the pool, sitting in bed, all these things were just like, but they didn't actually bring up anything. They were just like, I love you and I'm committed. Boom, everything was fixed. You have to go to Hogwarts for 7 years to get that. Apparently, you only have to go to 2 days of paradise for that.
Dude, that candle too. Was it shaped like the Virgin Mary?
It was. I thought it was like a tiki man, but yeah, it could have easily been a Virgin Mary too. Definitely.
Like, she was like rubbing like his inner like hip, like when they're talking.
I'm also starting to get some kind of White Lotus vibes from this fucking place, because I'm pretty sure that the cafeteria lady, the masseuse therapy lady, and the bruja are all related.
I think they might be the same person.
Actually, that's what I was going to say originally, but then I even thinking it's some kind of cabal, but it may just be like Game of Thrones. She's like a woman of 1,000 faces, and she just changes her face. And a girl has no name.
Yeah, she
In
like does her
Paradise.
hair one way, ponytail one time.
Wait,
like,
Bri, is that a better title? A woman has their name in paradise.
I'm fine with that too. I mean, they're both pretty good. Roll the dice, flip a coin. Is there like a smoke edit that like when we're talking about this, you can have like smoke coming up our
Like mist? Yeah, like are you afraid of the dark kind of thing?
yeah.
If there's not, I'll make one.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
a promise.
Oh my God, Bill, this is incredible. Oh my!
I hope
the
there's some kind of
greatest
like
thing.
crystal ball or something I could just have floating here during this entire conversation. This edit's going to take so much longer, but it's going to be worth it.
It's just so much fun. Fucking Thomas.
Okay, so let's move on from them, and then they go to the prom together. Kenny was naked for his asking of the date. We'll get to the rest of the prom stuff, but he just loves to be naked. But it looks like they're going to be fine. If anyone was really worried about Kenny and Mari, they're going to be cool. Not sure I could say the same for Noah and Abigail.
What?
Exactly. And dude, that came into play this week. It literally came into play. I actually think this whole breakup could be over a misunderstood word and misunderstanding. We're going to get to that pretty quick. We've all seen the Noah and Abigail thing. We loved Abigail, and we still do like Abigail on the Reality Guys. We loved her when she dropped in Matt James' season. She was like our number one when we met her the first week. She got the first impression rose, the whole thing. Man, she is really insecure. I feel for her, but she will just not let this dude be good to her and love her. She just there's something holding her back, man. Right? I mean, that's the vibe you're getting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like that's something that happens a lot in normal day life.
It does. Sometimes you're just not vibing, and I'm sure she probably feels awkward. It's already awkward enough being on the show. It's her second go around. For all intents and purposes, you could tell they casted this guy for her. He's a nurse. He worked with deaf kids, blah, blah, blah. He really wanted to meet her. She knew about him. It was a perfect setup, but I don't think Abigail is going to find love on one of these shows. I think she's going to have to get it in real life.
Yeah, and hopefully the show like will help her a little bit, or like she has a little like
well, she's definitely got more pull now. She's got more followers,
more pull, and like you can just meet him. Like I just think dating inside this fraternity is just bad. Like I think it'll be
at least on air. It is for most of these people. It doesn't work. It really doesn't.
Yeah, and you know that might be one of her holdups, or like maybe she wasn't feeling it as much as Noah, and like you just constantly have a camera in your face, and like people will just, if you say I don't love you, then they're gonna just kill her.
Yeah, so the night before we talked about that prom, Noah brought Abigail up to one of the couch areas to talk to her, to profess his feelings. And he was talking very rushed, and he's got to be a little bit aware of his partner. He does tell her that he's falling in love with her, and she literally just doesn't say anything. But later on, during a different confessional, she says, like, I didn't really hear him. I'm not sure if he actually said that. And I wasn't sure he said it, so I didn't want to respond to something I wasn't sure he said. Like I know we've always made the what jokes, and and we've made the stupid conspiracy theories that she can hear better than she lets on. But right there disproved any of that theory, because she definitely misheard the guy.
Yeah. Right.
And at that moment, you're feeling bad for this guy. But I think by the end of the prom, so they go to the prom. He asked her to the prom. They do the prom. They go through it. Her whole time, she's saying in the confessional, she's going to tell him that she loves him and that she feels like she hasn't been doing the right thing. He pulls her to the side. It's one of those classic situations where it's like, no, let me go first. And if he had just let her go first, it would have not crashed and burned. But he dumps her, basically, right? I mean, he dumps her.
It's kind of like quick to trigger on like one day, like to just be like, I said all this stuff, like let her sit for a few. And normally, like you say, you feel dumb, but like maybe she'll surprise you. And she was about to say like, hey, I do love you, and like you said, like stinks.
He's an idiot, because she literally even calls him on, and I'm really glad she did. Like, she's like, how can you say that to me yesterday and then today just because I didn't say it right away? And like, that's it. And so in the end, he seems to be way more like her and he was letting it like seem like, and everyone seems to let it. We're thinking and saying, even Well said to her that he thinks you're holding back, blah blah blah. What do you think? Gut check next week is their reconciliation.
I say no.
I say no too.
Yeah, this will be one of those things where
It would be forced. It would be forced, and you knew it wouldn't be in real life.
Yeah, like they need to watch this show to see the confessionals. Then maybe there'll be some sort of rekindling, but maybe it's too far gone, like my boy Drake says.
It's true. And dude, know what it made me think of? I one of the things that we love about Temptation Island, which is another show that we will definitely cover again when it comes back to this multiverse, that they have when they do the campfires and they show some of the footage and stuff like that. I really wish, and there's probably, I think Big Brother kind of does this, but we've already said we're never going to watch a show that Josh could win. Yeah. Unless we get like 1,000 people telling us we have to watch it, then we'll consider it. It is a summer show. We'll get to that. My point being is I would love for there to be a show where these contestants throughout the show could see other people's confessionals.
Yeah, or like maybe even in the reunion, like they could drop these confessionals. Maybe it could change, like spark some debate or something like that.
Send them like a DVD of all the confessionals that were about them before you show up to the final. It's like summer reading.
Yeah. So no one would do it. That's what you're saying.
I sort of did my summer reading. I did my summer reading my freshman year in high school, definitely, because it was like, oh shit, I take that back. I read one book and then the second one I flaked on and didn't do good on the test. I didn't do my summer. It took me about 10 seconds to realize that I didn't do any of my summer reading.
Yeah, I was a loser. I did it.
Man, I really broke down quick. I started thinking about like, I didn't finish that book. And I'm like, well, the next one was, I didn't read that one either. I'm like, and if I didn't do it my freshman year, there's no shot I did it my sophomore through senior years.
Yeah.
Shout out to Washington Township High School, though. I did have good grades for the most part.
Cheater.
I didn't. I waited to college till I cheated. Please. That was the move when you found the smart people to sit with, bro. That was, that. Come on now.
Oh yeah. I'm just teasing you, man.
We were educated in the same fine institution.
Yeah.
Institution of higher learning. Caw-caw!
Cluck, cluck, cluck.
Cluck, cluck, cluck. Yeah, so I mean, obviously that relationship, I'm not feeling that there's a lot of wheels left on it. Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. The previews seem to show a lot of Abigail crying in the beginning. This could be G.I. Joe's last stand, though. I could see G.I. Joe stepping in to reprimand.
He's like with on his back with the pistol,
like the Suicide Squad. But Joe's like, one last ride, boys, and his cabal of women. He's actually, you know what? Actually, no. Let's take this back. He's no longer G.I. Joe. Joe is eventually going to be Joe's Angels. Because Joe leads the women, and it's just gonna be Joe on the intercom. Like, hello, Paradise.
Basil.
What was the Charlie's Angels theme? Now I'm like blanking on it.
What's his name?
No, the theme song. The music was pretty iconic. I'm just blanking on it. It'll be playing while we're talking right now, but I don't know it. So overall, then we go into the Paradise Prom. We've kind of touched on it. I don't know if this is a thing they do every year or not. Joe kind of made a comment like, well, it's prom, so it's kind of towards the end, but then he's like, oh, the end of high school, this, that. So I'm not sure if this was a special thing or not. Let us know in the comments below. This is our first season of Paradise, or even in the Facebook comments, anything, guys, just let us know. I love to learn this shit. It is corny, though. It's another one of their classic cornball dates. It's 80s themed. Girls just want to have fun. I thought,
we forgot about James.
I forgot something, guys.
James date?
Well, I forgot that some other people showed up to Paradise. I had to reload. It happens sometimes here.
We just got on a tangent, man. The brouhaha tricked us. All those.
But the black magic is already on this show. I don't even know. This still may be something now. I may be a third title. This may be something having to do with black magic reality, guys. I don't even know. This is what we're doing here. Then Paradise. When you have a 3-hour episode, people, I have 2.5 pages single space written out in notes. It's a lot to cover. I'm trying to go through the verticals here. If there's any of you still watching, God bless you anyway. So now that we've reversed in time, there were women that showed up to Paradise. And one of them is a Reality Guys favorite. It is our girl, Anna. So if you don't remember me, I was on Nat James' season, and I was a mean girl. I was a mean girl. Very mean. Katie told me what was good, and she sent me away with her magic dildo. But I'm here to find love. So Anna showed up. I loved Anna. Anna was actually a guest host a few episodes of the Reality Guys. She steps in and I step out. It's really cool. I also think that maybe if I am like James, Anna is like my two-faced persona.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
wild.
like we could have
persona.
like one of your mouths open, like just one side. I don't even know it's doable, but
That's a really good one. Yeah, so Anna seems like, yeah, I mean, listen, it's a tough thing to go on them fucking shows. And that was a classic Reality Guys thing that we covered where Anna was the mean girl and she shared a bunch of shit about the girl being a prostitute,
right.
alleged prostitution, and way in over her head. And we remember that we followed up like on Instagram and things after the fact that she's a normal woman with like a good job at a really like reputable, I think it was like a PR firm or something like that. And I'm sure she took a lot of flack and stuff like that, but she does come back to Paradise and she sets her sights on James. She actually dates a few of the other guys. She tries a few people like Thomas and other people, and they all just tell her that they're not.
Stiff armor. Yeah, she did say that like I was the girl who made a lot of funny faces, and I appreciate that she said that because
because I made a whole trope out of her having a funny face and mouth. I kind of, oh, Moose is here. Hey, Moose. But yeah, so I was excited to see her. Then we also, as far as new arrivals, we did have Michaela. Now, Michaela had a lot harder time than Anna did. And we'll get to Anna and James's date because they broke another 2 Reality Guys rules were broken this episode. Michaela shows up. She tries to take everyone out for a conversation. She gets stiff-armed, like Brian's saying. This episode could even literally be Paradise stiff-arm. There were so many stiff arms this episode.
The Heisman, man, they just like took her down. Like I felt bad for her.
Oh my God. But yeah, so she tries a bunch of people. Then Aaron kind of does a dumbass thing where he says, but let's go talk. Sits her down to then. And I think his intentions were to not shoot her down in front of people, which he could have just told her in the conversation he wouldn't go on a date.
Yeah,
so
he should have done that.
He is Fessy, dude. He's the Fessy of Paradise.
Yeah, they look kind of similar.
I said they're cousins. And I mean, that's a guy we'll see on another season of Paradise. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a couple of these people being on the challenge, to tell you the truth.
It would be such a fun reach. Like,
James could be good on the challenge. Yeah. I think Thomas would be good on the challenge. I think and I think Aaron would be good for the challenge because he is just kind of a instigator and stuff. Who would not be good for the challenge would be Abigail.
Well, I don't think any of these girls would.
What?
What? I don't think any of these girls would be good for the challenge.
I know. I think Goddess Victoria would rise above.
No, she would.
She would be. Oh my God, they would tear her apart. I kind of want a few of them because none of these chicks have a. You know who just looks like maybe could do well, like Natasha. Maybe I think Natasha could hold her own. And who was the chick who was sweating a lot? She was so funny.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but maybe
she would be funny because I would just want her to go in to just complain about sweating and then getting kicked off. I think that would be pretty funny.
I just don't think that some of those chicks have like the
fortitude.
Yeah, it's just a little more grittier, and I don't think.
No, it's tough.
Not feeling it.
So anything different in the Paradise Prom? I mentioned James looked like Two-Face from the Batman animated series with the 2-colored tux. Wells spiked the punch. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's good. That was nice production.
That was a nice touch. I also was fine with the band because bands are cool. Anna notes. So this is where I would go back to Anna's date. The other date, Anna did 2 things. One, she brought up what is tubular, which I thought was a pretty good question. What the fuck is tubular? Yeah. Secondly, she was part of one of the second broken rules of the Reality Guys on the Bachelor franchise. They went on a food spa date. The food this time, just so I can make sure that it was right.
Like churros, right?
Yeah, it was a churro date.
Love churros.
It was, I mean, yeah, churros are great, but as a date, also, not only was it a goddamn human churro date, they put fucking pythons on their back.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Nope.
Yeah, I would do that, I think.
Nope.
Oh, you don't like snakes? You don't like snakes?
No, I'm not a snake guy. So like that is like my nightmare. So it's like a food related challenge and snakes. Like
I wonder if like their skin as they move against you, like
bro, I don't want it like resting its fucking head on my hand. No. I wouldn't even feel like, oh, this girl's gonna think I'm like a bitch. I'd just be like, this is not a date. Nope. Nah.
It was weird. It was like one of those dates that like you're scared together and it brings you closer. Type of dates.
It is. Well, it definitely. They seem like a couple that would date.
Yeah. I kind of was hoping James would, because I'm not a huge fan of her personally, but
yeah. Well,
I mean,
imagine being like in a symbiotic. She's like my Venom.
yeah,
like she's my symbiote. Like I can't talk while she's talking.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just trying to figure this
or
out.
Like that Jim Carrey movie where he has like split personalities.
Oh, what is not
Myself
the mask?
Me,
myself, and Irene. That's what a fucking pull you just pulled there. That's a good movie. The last kind of things we'll go over. The episode ended with the Noah and Abigail stuff, so we kind of covered that. But in between there, the only other thing, there were some awards that were handed out, and some of them were pretty obvious. Biggest flirt, you knew, Kenny.
Yeah.
Bang 2 chicks. Toe kisser. Marissa. Didn't like that one. This was a fucking funny one. The happily ever after.
Yeah.
Noah and Abigail.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, that aged bad.
This is when that confessional came up. I double started. She didn't hear him. I'm not even being an asshole.
Yeah.
The king and queen of the prom, like we said, are Joe and Serena G.I. Joe. Military honors for Miss Serena. She is now a military wife. 21 gun salute. I think they're going to be good. Let's get to the preview. I was about to say that they're going to have a military wedding, but there's 3 more hours of paradise, people.
I can't believe there's 3 more hours.
If you think about that, this is like we literally said, this is week like 7 or something of Bachelor in Paradise. And 2 of those weeks were 3 hours, and at least 2 others were 2 hours, and minimum 1 other. The fucking amount of content.
Yeah.
Listen.
This?
What?
You think the reunion's at the end of this? Maybe an hour.
Oh my God! Please tell me there's a reunion too.
I was in the end of this. Like, I don't know what could still happen 3 hours.
Oh my God! Please let there be a reunion.
Yeah.
I need it. I need the reunion.
Because Press has been watching an old season, and they have a lot of studio like reunion stuff going on, like each episode. So like they changed it probably because of COVID. They can't do it, but
that's interesting. Hold on, let me pause this real quick. Sorry. I just really, really hope that they showed Kendall.
Yeah, the cock block of the year.
Is there any chance she's there for any other reason other than to try to stop the proposal? Or do you think she's there to let him know that she supports him?
Maybe, or she's the officiant.
Or she's pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, people, let us know what you think, because this is going to be a clusterfuck next week of a finale. Maybe reunion as well. We're hoping it's all. I mean, not that we don't want to cover, and we will, and we appreciate everyone watches, but like, we'll be ready if there is a week in between. We're going to do a Bachelorette preview like we do for all the seasons of our shows. So we will do a contestant preview kind of thing. But I think Paradise has run its course. I think this crew will have a couple couples out of it. I say that now. I think Joe and Serena P will make it. Do you think anyone else will make it?
No. I don't think anyone's making it, to be honest with you.
The age difference is tough, but I love Joe. Honestly, I don't even. It may not be the best thing. We're gonna get into all that next week after when everyone settles. We have a plan to talk about like how we feel about post-mortem and who they if they should be together, should they come back, etc. Please like and subscribe to the Reality Guys if you haven't already, and set those notification bells. You could always see when we have coming, just to give you an idea of what the rest of our week looks like. This will be out. We're recording on Wednesday, so this will either be out really late Wednesday on East Coast around midnight time, or we'll be out first thing in the morning Thursday. And then we will have our Survivor 41 week 2 coverage. We'll have that dropped again either Thursday evening, really late towards midnight, or Friday night, morning early. We may also then, I think the good idea, we will do the Britney Spears. We'll record that Britney Spears special as well. We'll get that recorded, and I will schedule that to release, say, Friday night. We are going on my bachelor party this weekend.
Yes, we are.
It is going to be a good time. I'm sure Brian and myself will drunkenly do some things related to the Reality Guys. Maybe we'll do some, hey, you're watching the Reality Guys, or maybe we'll even record something. I'll probably bring my microphone and a laptop with me. You never know.
Welcome to Jackass.
Exactly. I mean, you never know. Like, so we'll get there. But like I said, I'll get that out there. And as far as the challenge, who knows? We may be trying to get a couple things recorded tomorrow. But if we don't get a episode out for the challenge, a lot of the challenge I think will be based off of if it's really, really good. I'm sure we'll squeeze like a 10-15 minute review in. Brian, maybe even that's something we record at the house.
Yeah, then maybe that might be a quick
We
one.
just cover something quick, and it may be on like an iPhone with my little stand and us talking right in front of it, but hell, it'll still be good. And
yeah, or we can just do the laptop, or we can live it.
We could maybe even put it on like Instagram and make our first live. We're working on a lot of
YouTube Live.
things.
I was talking YouTube Live.
Yeah, YouTube Live. Fuck it, I'll do YouTube
Yeah, we
Live.
just
I don't
gotta
care.
make sure
Be
we gotta
funny.
cut the chatter in the back.
Well, we'll do YouTube Live, and you know what? Again, we'll keep this all in there. But YouTube Live, maybe we'll message some of our buddies. Like Kevin, obviously, can get on live. Kevin won't be with us. Maybe some of our other multiversal friends who we used to do chats with at night. Maybe they'll want to jump into the chat part of it, or even come into the video chat. People can jump in. I know Waleed would be interested. Maybe even some of our friends to the north. But listen, the idea, guys, is we're going to build a very organic community here. We're having a blast doing it. I hope you guys can tell that we're having a blast doing this. And, you know, in the future, there may be some other things that the Reality Guys do that we may not put under the moniker of Reality Guys, but we're going to keep that same community and all keep it united. But we appreciate you guys following us on this journey. But until tomorrow, when I leave paradise and head to Survivor Island, for myself, Brian, and Kevin tomorrow, peace.
Check out the Instagram.
Check out the Instagram, guys. There are some funny clips. Peace.